two-story home, still climbs the stairs, still drives. There is a peony bush in the backyard that was my mother's favorite. It was that in her roses. And she cared so much about that bush. Every time we would have a heavy rainstorm, that poor bush would just get beaten down. Well, peonies have changed so much in the last few years, and Barbara King has brought to us something exquisite. It's called the Bowl of Beauty. When I was talking to Barbara on the phone yesterday, Barbara mentioned it looks like bowls of ice cream, and I thought that's the perfect analogy. This is something that will give you back years of love in your yard, because they are perennials that can last for decades. And this is something that doesn't get massively overgrown the way the older peony bushes did. And look at how vibrant the flowers are. Barbara, you outdid yourself on this one.
Thank you. Well, we are lucky enough to have growers that are always out there for the new, the unusual, and they will call us and say, I know you love peonies. I know your customers love peonies. Well, this peony is not so well known in the United States, but it is the winner of high honors in European flower shows. He's like, Barb, you've got to get this to your shop. And if you love it, you've got to bring it to QVC. Well, we fell in love. It is that beautiful fuchsia cup-sized petals on the outside. Then in the center, it has that creamy yellow in the center. This is just a beautiful, fragrant, long bloom time. And this peony gave me lots of flowers. So I love that too. It is going to grow 24 to 36 inches high. They're amazing in containers, on borders, as focal points. And I love planting them in masses too.
Yeah.
Then you get that wave of a statement from that fuchsia petal that is cup shaped, that beautiful creamy yellow in the center. They're also going to attract the butterflies. But Dan, also that flower size is 8 to 10 inches across.
It's a head of lettuce.
When it's fully matured.
Yeah, it's a head of lettuce.
That's a good analogy, Dan.
But what makes it so unique, it's a flower within a flower. It's amazing how the outer petals are these soft, wonderful, wispy sheets. And then the interior are little puffs and strains of color. It's not your mother's peony bush at all. And
no,
they don't become these wild, overgrown things that where you plant them in front of a window, 5 years later you can't see out the window anymore. So they have a very nice habit, the way in which they grow, and they're a nice rounded shape to the overall bush. But I completely agree with you. Planting these in masses just makes it very dramatic. So maybe in the back corner of a property where the fence comes to a 90 degrees, plant them in that corner and soften that entire corner up.
Oh, definitely. And then that fragrance is also going to soften the air around you. Use these as cut flowers too. There'll be plenty to share with the garden and in your house. Bringing these to friends is one of my favorite things to do, because when you come to somebody's house with an armload of peonies, you're remembered. I mean, a bottle of wine is the usual thing that maybe you bring to dinner, but when it's peony season and you have started to grow peonies year after year, you're going to get these beautiful flowers, and the foliage is gorgeous too. Now, the first year, you might get a couple flowers. The second year, wow. The third year is a huge show where you're going to get a display like this of the most unusual colors. I love that our growers have found these. They get the hints and the calls from the European growers that, they know their peonies, and they say, you know what, bring these to your best customers. And I'm lucky to be one of those that's on the phone line where they're saying, give this a try. My grandfather had a flower shop and wholesale market in New York City, and that is where that tradition started of growers calling a place like New York City to say, just try this. Your customers are going to love it. They know they had the audience. And I'm so lucky now to have the QVC audience to share what we find as easy to grow, very unique colors and flowers, and something that our customers love. So I am loving that you all are loving them too. They are so easy. Once you plant a peony, they come back year after year.
Yeah. So it is an investment in your property, but we're talking about less than $50 to have 3 distinctively different plants. And because they're perennials, exactly as you were saying, you know, they're going to change your garden for decades. I highly urge you to consider picking up the fertilizer because water isn't enough. If you want anything that blooms or flowers to really thrive, fertilize. And you fertilize maybe once or twice a month. Barbara's sprayer that she offers us and our customers is also a really nice tool to have because the easiest way to feed your peonies is foliar feeding, where you're just spraying down the leaves at the same time that you're watering it. So show us what we're going to get because these come to us as bare roots, which those are my favorites. I don't mind planting bulbs, but bare roots I think are cool.
Oh, it just makes it so much easier for getting in the ground. You're not carrying anything heavy. You're not having to dig too much around other things. Look at these beautiful roots. I mean, the size of them are just amazing. These are fresh, haven't been sitting on the shelf
Yep.
anywhere at a big box store. So you're going to dig a hole large enough to accommodate your roots, and then you're actually going to cover it with soil about 1 inch right above your flowers there because these are ready to bloom. You're going to water this in. This one's ready to go now. He wants to live. You're going to water it in with the blossom booster. People have been waiting for our blossom booster. These plants are spectacular, but give them everything they need to be even better. We also give you that plant guide that's going to give you all the instructions that you need, tips and hints for your peonies. Those peonies are the queens of the garden.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I look forward to every spring. When my car windows are down, I can actually start to get the wafts of the peonies in the air of different yards you might drive by. Have that as your entrance to your house, as you're driving in your driveway or walking into your home. You're going to have a peony, but not just any peony, a peony that is so unique, beautiful color, beautiful shape, but performs like the other peonies. They're deer resistant, they're super strong and tough, and every year they just are fabulous.
Well, again, another thing to consider, if you're going to do what my mom did and plant them near the house, you want to plant them, Barbara, you'd recommend what, about 2 feet away from the house itself so
Oh,
they have room to grow immature?
uh, definitely.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're going to get to be 24 to 36 inches high and just about as wide, too. So, spread them out like that, and you're going to love how they fill in year after year. These big, poofy blossoms that look like a bowl of ice cream. That fuchsia petal is so unique with that creamy center, and the fragrance is really something special. Each peony has a slightly different
Yep.
fragrance, and I just enjoy this one so much. Love it as cut flowers, bringing it into my house. It's something you will look forward to year after year.
I do believe, I could be wrong, I have been in the past, more than a few times, but I think the peony is the state flower for more states than any other flower. I know it is from my home state of Indiana.
Really?
You guarantee success and happiness with any of your live plants. And if for any reason people aren't satisfied, all they need to do is contact us and you will either be replaced this season or next season if they're unavailable. But don't let things like this sell out where you don't get your chance to get them. And Barbara will make sure they're shipped at just the perfect, appropriate time for planting. Now, we saw this a little earlier, and I urge you to pick these up because this is your chance.